I don't know if Fnatic's going to go for that Terrorblade. I kind of hope they don't and go for something a bit more fast-paced, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think if they were going to go for the Terrorblade, though, the Oracle's in the pool. Oh, well, no, it's not anymore. It was banned by TNC right before. So it's a bit more tricky to make that Terrorblade work. I don't think it's a great option without the Oracle in this kind of specific lineup. TNC does respond pretty strong, though. The Lina makes an appearance here for TNC, and there is some flexibility to the hero. We've seen it in the pause 4 position a couple of times, but it's also a very solid mid for them to have if they want to toss it there. If it is going to be the DP mid, I don't think Lina struggles too much. So you're still going to be able to find some presence in that lane. It's
Right.
not going to be a very free lane for the DP.
No, I don't think it will be. Not up against the Lina. Of course, it can be run as a pos 4 Lina. It's just a nice flex pick, right, for the side of TNC Predator. They can switch things up later on if they really want. Just run it as a pos 4 and choose something else for the mid lane. And speaking of as well, right, I thought when we saw the Brewmaster Phoenix opening here from TNC, I thought that would be the laning matchup right there for TNC for the off lane. Because you've got Fire Spirits into the Cinderbrew. So you can ignite the Cinderbrew so easily in lane. And it can be a rather disgusting combination because you just get burnt to death. Because you're drenched in alcohol, apparently, when the Cinderbrew comes out. But I don't know. We'll see how they lane this if it is going to be a pos 4 Lina. For now, at least, we'll assume it's a pos 2. Fnatic, they go into the Weaver. I don't know where they're putting that. I was kind of assuming it was going to be support, but it should be a core Weaver if we are going to have that pos 4 Earthshaker. And TNC Predator now revealing that that is going to be a mid laner. They will go for the
Yeah.
pos 4 Mirana.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid draft so far from TNC. The one worry is that you don't really have the best lockdown here. You really have Light Strike Race, your best bet.
Yeah.
And beyond that, you're going to be hoping on landing the arrow perhaps as follow-up or having the egg channel true, which can be tricky. So there are certain things TNC has to watch out for with that Mirana pick. Of course, it's just strong in lane. You're going to find the EXP. Fnatic, though, they pick up the NP. So it's really flexible right now from Fnatic. More than likely, we're going to see a support NP in this case, along with a Shaker. That does seem pretty greedy, but if you had to run one of these heroes to support, it's probably that. Although again, we've seen support DP before, we've seen support Weaver before, so there is a lot of room for Fnatic to just kind of toss these heroes around, and it does make it a little bit trickier for TNC to figure out what they want to do. But the strength of this draft from Fnatic is that they have great push. You have the DP and the NP. They're going to be able to melt these towers around. You still have to focus on the exorcism, but
Yeah.
beyond that, the objectives early on shouldn't hold up for too long.
I like what I'm seeing here from Fnatic. I've got to be honest, right? Their push potential is just so... It's already so potent here from Fnatic. I agree that maybe that support duo is going to be a little bit greedy, though. If they can't get a good start off, it could be quite disastrous for them. I do like the final ban-outs that came out from both teams,
Oh, yeah.
however. TNC, they ban out the Lycan. They don't want to deal with that added potential push that could come out from Fnatic. And Fnatic ban out the Riki. And from their previous 2 series on the side of TNC in a different league entirely, they did run 3 out of 4 games with a Riki pos 1. So apparently TNC are enjoying this pos 1 Riki at the moment. I can't quite blame them. I think it's fantastic right now. It will not be available, however, and Fnatic now, for their final pickup, seemingly still are missing some kind of pos 1 hero here, unless it's going to be the Weaver safe lane, which I don't think it is, but you never really know. It should be Savage's hero here.
Yeah,
What does Savage feel like playing?
it's a bit tricky. Like, this lineup is really open. I
Yeah.
think if they wanted to go for something a bit more fighty, maybe the Troll, although it does give you a way to deal with Phoenix, and we've seen Savage play it a lot. I'm just not sure how it slots into this lineup entirely. They go with Avenge.
Oh,
So I guess that's a support Venge, a
should
pause
be.
1 Weaver, yeah, and the Ice 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 NP, of course.
Right.
So it's still a really strong lineup. Like, there's a lot of physical damage coming out here from the Weaver and Venge. Just the minus armor that can build up if you have those bugs land on you for a while does mean you're going to melt really quick. So there's a very basic synergy from Fnatic. Not the best team fight. You're riding off the back of DJ Shaker entirely for that one, for the most part. But
Yeah.
as long as you don't get caught out by the egg and you don't clump up for a big LSA, TNC's team fight isn't as amazing as well. Although the Brewmaster is going to be really hard to deal with.
That is true, right? They don't really have anything to do with that Brewmaster. Like, you've got the silence there from the DP to try and delay things a little bit, but overall, KP should have a pretty nice time. Mind you, I believe KP is still playing from Australia. So he probably will still have those massive ping issues that you tend to have going from Oz to C.
Ooh.
And TNC Predator. I could have sworn we were just watching a droid, John. They choose the PA. This is a hero I don't see them picking ever on the side of TNC, but I don't think it's actually that bad. I don't see anything that can really control the PA apart from the Earthshaker and Venge, but even then, it's kind of like, are you actually going to have enough control through those two supports to really hold him down long enough, especially once he's got a BKB up? Once Gabby gets a BKB, there's nothing stopping him from just jumping into a team fight and essentially doing whatever he wants. So I like the pick up here from TNC. I just kind of wonder what kind of build he goes for. Like, do you go greedy and go into a B Fury? Do you go for a Desolator into a BKB? I would prefer to see the Deso, I think, but it's not up to me. It's up to Gabby. We'll find out soon, John. Game 1 about to start for BTS Pro Series Season 2.
Yeah, it's a really exciting draft from both sides as well. Key thing here is Fnatic is super tied into the timer. Right? The DP means that they're going to have to revolve around Exorcism for a while in the early game, and TNC, they don't really care as much. Like, they've got the split from the Brew, the Phoenix ult, I guess, if they wanted to, but Lina, PA, Mirana, they can just go hunting off the bat by the time they hit 6. So you look towards TNC to play the faster game, to force Fnatic to take fights they can't without Exorcism, and try to push an advantage in that way.
Oh, and here we go. Everyone's just going to die. No. Oh, DJ's disappeared. DJ's gone, ladies and gentlemen. We'll move over. Probably should have done this a little earlier. We're on to the game now.
That wasn't too bright.
And of course, as is tradition, we must have a pause at the start of the game, and here it is. This time around, it was, I believe, TNC giving us the pleasure of this pause, John. You must be feeling very, very happy about this.
Oh yeah, it's not a Southeast Asian game unless one of the players disconnects, and it is DJ, but TNC is the one to pause, so they're acting like the gentleman here and using their own pause, and there you go. DJ's back, at least. Not the longest pause.
We'll go ahead. It is going to be a Savage safe lane Weaver with jabs there on the Venge. So they are going to have that off lane Nature's Prophet you talked about from Ice, and of course the mid DP.
Yeah, so
I don't really know what to expect from the POS 1 Weaver though. Like, I always figured it was going to be rather strong, but
March was asking Ice if he got added to the avoid list. Always nice to see that.
apparently he's
Poor
muted
March.
anyway. March is really wanting to know if Ice actually avoided him.
Oh boy. See, that's one of the nice things, right? When you've got teams like this that play so often against each other, there is a bit of camaraderie, friendly banter between
Of
teams, and
course.
it's always nice to see that.
Definitely is, John. It's funny, we didn't even talk about the Tim's Mirana, John. That's the last time we saw Tim's Mirana, he was doing so much work on this hero. I look forward to see what kind of plays he makes this time around. So they will allow the top bounty rune to go away, but they will grab the bottom one. So it'll be a 2-for-2 trade on bounties to start off this game. A very nice even start. Looks like Tim's is going to start in the off lane there with KP, but I imagine he will probably just roam as that possible Mirana, as he always does. No real point of him staying in the lane with KP for an extended period of time, as can't really do too much.
Yeah, it's not the most active dual lane, but again, we've seen Tims just be disruptive, maybe just go for the camps or constantly harass Jabs. That's really the way to do it. KP shouldn't have too much trouble up against Savage, although Savage can at least play with a Shukuchi, but beyond that, you know, it's a Brewmaster. He's got his ways to be annoying.
That he does. Just looking at that mid lane, we do have the Lina versus DP matchup. Moon going to be there up against Armel. You talked about it in the draft stage as well. Armel really shouldn't have that difficult of a time here up against the DP. Just generally stay out of range and just harass Moon out. He won't be able to get close enough for the Spirit Siphon unless he's willing to take a lot of damage. Armel should have a really, really decent time. It's just going to be a matter of what kind of item build he goes for in this Lina.
Yeah, it's you would want Lina in this case to be a bit more active. Again, as long as you keep pace in terms of EXP, you should expect a lot more aggression from Armel, as he's not going to be tied into as long of a cooldown with Laguna. So it's really just about hitting that 6 mark for both of these heroes.
We saw him just miss the LSA there, but he's just dishing out so much damage onto that Death Prophet already. Of course, in the bot lane, Gabby going to be there with March on the Phoenix, Ice on the Prophet, with DJ on the Earthshaker. And DJ probably also going to start rotating very, very soon with that level 1 Fisher. Problem is, where do you rotate? Like, you can go to the mid lane and try to secure a kill onto the Lina, but it's going to be slightly difficult to really break that gap. And now, Ice actually getting jumped on. Nice courier snipe from March. TP out from Ice. He will get out of there in time. But I think you're pretty satisfied with that. You force him back to the fountain, you take out his courier, you waste the TP.
Yeah, it's at the least Ice at 2 can just teleport back in, so not too much time wasted there, and DJ doesn't really get to soak too much. The biggest issue with his dual lane is that the Shaker doesn't have much space, as you mentioned, and it's just going to be a slow start for DJ, at least from the laning phase.
There's just not much he can do as that Shaker. That's the real problem there. And he's going to make the rotation now at level 2. Or maybe he won't. He's slowly making his way to that mid lane. He's actually going to scout out the PA Courier. So that's a nice little snipe there. But that's going to give the information over to Armel that he's coming. Siphon is going to be there on Armel. He's in range for the fish, although it doesn't really connect with it, but now he's kind of stuck in that tree line. Moon still going after this. Armel, though, with the LSA, and March is rotated in as well, and Moon is going to be the first blood. In fact, never mind, nobody gets awarded the first blood. The gold is split, but Fnatic, they will give the first kill of the game away, and now, of course, Armel will just go deny himself over to the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's bit of a mistake there from DJ, but in the end, you know, you're not going to be too upset losing your DP like that. You come in ahead for the TP at least, so you're going to have a little bit more time to get some EXP. And you did force the TP out.
Savage. Savage getting very, very aggressive there on Tims, and Tims just arrows him and commits Starfall. KP came in and cleaned up. Savage, maybe overestimating how durable his hero is right now. At level 4, Weaver is pretty squishy. They take him out very, very quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain edge you have to play with Weaver, of course. You want to keep the harassment up with Shukuchi. It's just, you have to be careful with that timing. And just having that 1 kill does help KP massively. You know, he's already interrupting the farm of Savage, and just getting that additional kill on top means Savage's own timing is also kind of affected here.
He's going to be careful not to give too many kills away like that on that Weaver, because you are expecting to kind of snowball in this kind of hero. Something like a quick Deso can really get you out of control on the Weaver. Magic Missile there. Going to be on Tims, but he'll be just perfectly fine to walk out of there and continuously harass out Jabs and Savage. Surprisingly enough, Tims hasn't actually left the lane at all, but with that Sentry Ward, he has been really abusing Savage with those auto attacks and Starfall. Now KP going to help out, make sure they secure both these bounty runes, and well, at least for now, it seems as though TNC has found a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties.
Yeah, just again, a little bit of a lead for TNC early on, and Fnatic's just not getting the control you'd expect them to take on the map. So it is a bit rougher here in the laning stage, but this is exactly what TNC wants to do. Their lineup is just geared towards being a bit faster.
Well, Tim's now looking for a courier snipe. He's got two right in front of him, and what a time to put an observer ward down to see both. The Venge tries to get a courier back. That one's gone. Of course, you definitely want to get that Weaver courier as well, as it's much more important, but looks like Savage is going to be very, very patient. Arrow from Jabs, or rather Tims, does land on Jabs, and now Jabs with the Cinder Brew will probably burn out here. Starfall there from Tims to secure the kill. And, well, that TP, a bit of wishful thinking, perhaps just forgetting where Tims was, and well, they do secure another kill on TNC.
Yeah, again, it's just a much stronger start. I like how aggressive Tims has been in going around his jungle area. I mean, it's a Mirana, right? You're going to be at those camps anyway. To pop a creeper two with a Sacred Arrow, it's not the safest time for a support to even just go for a pull up against that lane.
The bottom lane, however, Moon, he has Exorcism. He's looking to make a push down a bot lane. Fisher was there, but the Phoenix will, of course, Icarus dive away. Meanwhile, KP ends up killing off Savage again. Savage doesn't seem very happy with it. It's the second time he's died this game. They are, of course, going to push in that tier 1 tower, but TPs are coming in. Armel, he wants to try and get Moon for this. LSA does land with the Dragon Slave, and now Gabby blinks in, but a nice Fisher from DJ. That'll block off the other two heroes from TNC, and now Moon. He wants to chase further onto Gabby. He doesn't have any Spirit Siphons. And that is going to matter, because Gabby will just be able to run away, but at least DJ will find the courier of the PA. And with that, the T1 going down, they will just head out.
It's a successful use of this Exorcism. You still do manage to find a tower. You found a kill on Lina as well. So overall, you are happy, and that does give Fnatic a slight net worth advantage. Not much. It's still fairly even on board. But as long as Moon plays around that Exorcism and forces the objectives, you are buying a lot of space for someone like Savage to find some farm.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, right? Like, you look at TNC's lineup, and they weren't really able to trade tier 1s at that moment. And that's really one of the strengths about the DP, is you can push in a tier 1 tower that early. And the likelihood is the other team won't really find a trade. And that's exactly what happened for TNC now. The KP will probably slowly, you know, chip away at that tier 1 tower up at the top lane, but it's going to take a while. He is a Brewmaster after all. In fact, speaking of KP, he has hit level 6, so you'd expect maybe he'd call for a smoke now from his team. Maybe try to make something very early happen with that primal split timing.
Yeah, it's going to be key for TNC in terms of team fights. If they wanted to, you're going to have to drag KP. Again, you could go hunting as well with Armel, but doesn't look like TNC wants to take that time off. They'd rather farm up on these wars.
He might be in trouble. There was a magic missile there. KP, he's kind of just trapped up right now. A great tree block from Ice. But KP will get out of there. But now DJ Fisher actually going to block himself in. So, not the greatest Fisher. It probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. I think KP was just out of there scot-free. And he's just going to walk away from this scenario. You look up top, though. Armel and Tims are around the area if they want to try and commit that primal split. But looks like Armel is going to be just focused on trying to stack up some camps and just go ahead and take those. Escalate his farm even more so on that Lina, as he has fallen behind a little bit.
Yeah, it is space buying for both teams. I'm actually a bit surprised that the bot lane still has Savage up against Gabby. Both sides can just farm up in this scenario. It's just that you don't normally see two pause ones farming against each other at this point in the game.
Well, the thing is with Savage, though, he can do it so safely on that Weaver, right? Like, you see Gabby, he just TPs out. He knows there's no point. He's going to join his team and try to make a push happen up to that top tier 1 tower. But I love this from Fnatic. If you're going to go for that top tier 1, we're going to force in this bottom tier 2 tower. And I couldn't agree more with that one, to be honest with you, John. In fact, they are going to back off now, in fact, going up to that mid lane after forcing a glyph. And, yeah, no, they're just going to farm up that mid lane a bit. They left Ice there to do a bit of chip damage on that bottom tier 2 tower. But that'll pretty much be it. They won't commit all the way.
Yeah, a bit surprising. They had the Exorcism up and running on Moon. You could have just gone for it, but I guess with the Arcane, you could try to go now and get yourself some more efficient cooldowns. Although every single second where Moon's not using it while it's up, of course, is kind of wasted time for the DP. So you'd want to see Fnatic take some action fairly soon.
Well, They might just set up for that mid lane push, which is arguably much more important anyway than that bottom tier 2 tower. And of course he does have the siege creep, so he will make the go ahead. There's a lot of rotations in from TNC, however. Moonlight Shadow, LSA though, not landing on Moon, so he's just going to run away now onto Armel with that Spirit Siphon. There's the egg being dropped right in the middle of all this. They're going to be able to burst that one down, or maybe not. No, they do find it, but Moon, he's in big, big trouble. He will end up dying on the DP as Savage. He'll try and chase Armel on that Lina. Can he actually find him though? Not quite. He'll go after KP instead. Echo being committed to lock down KP, but he is so tanky on this Brewmaster. But now with the tree and block, he should be quite susceptible to going down, and does. Ice, TP's away, however, nice cancellation from Tims. Just being an absolute pest on that Mirana. And Savage tried to punish him for that, but ultimately we'll have to let him go. However, did Savage scout out that TP? Looks like he did not. And Armel will just be able to freely farm up. However, Gabby now going to be chased down by Savage. Savage is being very, very aggressive on this Weaver. Just not really committing to farm, just wanting to fight with his team constantly.
And I think that's something the Weaver does spectacularly well. He just has a lot of damage to start with. You don't need too many items to come out. In fact, he's just going straight for the Dezo. Just wants all the minus armor in the world along with Avenge, and I think that's really the best way to maximize that Weaver. It helps you in a push as well. So once Fnatic has that up and running on Savage, it should be a bit easier to chip away at these towers as well.
My only concern is, though, you don't really want to fall too far behind here in farm, right? Because you look at Gabby on that PA. He's farming very well right now. He's at 5k net worth, and, well, surprisingly enough, John, he actually is going to go for the Battle Fury build. Mid lane, however, Armel getting caught by the Fisher. Moon going to go in with the Exorcism again. Armel in big, big trouble right now. He will end up dying. Magic Missile and a swap from Jab straight onto Tims. That was a great swap coming out mid-leap. He does leap again, but he should end up dying here. In fact, Crypt Swarm is going to be enough from Moon. And Savage, wanting to dive a T3 tower. He does have time lapse, I suppose, so he could make that happen, but ultimately we'll back out of there.
Yeah, that was a very optimistic jump, and Ice now as well, just TPing to that outpost alone.
Got ensnared by that dominated creep, but Ice just an expert at getting tree blocks off. Gets another tree block, this time on the dominated creep, and now they sprout it up, and that's going to be a free 200 gold. No, it won't be, because KP dominated another creep before it went down.
Yeah, it's just these small plays from both sides, maximizing efficiency. It's always nice to see, and it does help that both sides are fairly even. You're not getting even any of those small advantages. So you can see just still a less than 1k lead for Fnatic, 5-6. Objectives are fairly, well, slight advantage for Fnatic, but they haven't really done too much to these tier 2s just yet, and you would like to see this lineup start to move up there. You've got the Blade Mail up on Moon, so you can cop a little bit more, but there is a smoke from TNC.
They'll rush up towards that top lane. Ice is going to be in trouble. Gets used up there from Armel, and of course you have the arrow coming in. And even Laguna from Armel, that was a bit unnecessary. KP found the kill anyway on the Brewmaster, surprisingly enough. So it does take about half a second for the damage of Laguna to tick in. And ultimately, TNC really just wanted that kill. They didn't want to play around at all.
Yeah, I don't think Fnatic's too distraught from losing Ice at this point. I think their bigger hero to protect is actually DJ. And we've seen this time and time and again. When they pick up that Shaker, they wait around for the blink. And DJ is very close to that blink. So expect Fnatic to be a bit more active once it's up. They should be a little bit better to take these fights. And March.
Top lane is being pushed in, but March is going to be in trouble down at the bot lane. Sprouted up in the Fisher, just in case. Coming out from DJ. They're going to try and trade this bottom tier 2 tower again. Problem is it has been glyphed. But Savage going to come in on the Weaver. Has the Blightstone to really escalate things a little bit on this tower. But it is still proving to be a slow process without the Desolator up. You know what's not slow, John? DJ. He's got his Blink Dagger up on the Earthshaker now at 15 minutes in, and that is some very, very nice timing on that Earthshaker. Now you're just always going to have to be concerned about that Blink Echo. And we'll see a Moonlight Shadow coming out as a smoke was coming in. Arrow connecting on the DP through the smoke. And that'll give them the information that there was a smoke going on. Even that dominated creep from KP. Just trying to scout out the high ground right now. TNC. They did back out for a bit, but they are coming back in now. And Moon has to be very, very wary of that. Now, Armel will make it known that they are there, and ultimately, he will be safe. They'll back off again.
Yeah, I think overall, these kinds of trades for Fnatic, for TNC aren't too bad. They're not fighting under these big ults, although Tims gets caught out.
Yeah, but he has leap. He should be fine. Just leap out of there.
Yeah, but this is a lot of time where Fnatic has not used the exorcism. Well, they already haven't quite revealed the blink. They need to start using these spells soon because there is a lot of space being given to Gabby. He should be able to farm up and finish up that Battle Fury fairly soon, and then the farm really kicks in for the PA. It's going to be easier to clear out those waves that Ice 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 is trying to shove out, and this will just feed into the pocket of her PA.
Yeah, she just needs a Void Stone now, so Gabby, about 200 gold off. Very nice timing on him for that Battle Fury as well. Considering he went for the double Wraith Ban and Treads beforehand. And, well, Fnatic, they're going to try and force in the top tier 1 now. That Exorcism is up. Moon is holding on to it for the moment. Of course, Tims is there to clear out the creep wave, so he definitely is going to need to commit that Exorcism. But for now, he just continues to hold out on it. They'll smoke up. So they're going to try and loop around through that Radiant Triangle, it seems. You do have Savage there with the Desolator now, so they want to just try and surprise them with this item. But they won't actually find a way into that top lane, so rather they'll go down to the bot side jungle. Nobody's there, however. It's only really Armel, but even he's kind of on the outer skirts of that jungle. Maybe they spot him out with this vision. Savage, no, he didn't quite get there. Jabs. Still not spotting him out. Armel, though, he did see something. And Jabs, he'll just place a deep observer ward and looks like he'll back out. Unfortunately for him, it is underneath the sentry ward already, so that is going to get dewatered rather quickly.
Yeah, and again, Fnatic, this really hurts them a lot more. It's just that TNC's finding a lot more farm off the map. You see Gabby finished up that Battle Fury, so his farm's going to kick in. They've got to make something happen. TNC is enjoying the space, and you're going to have issues with that Brewmaster as the game goes on. He is also starting to build up into that Vlad's. That's just going to help keep Gabby alive as well.
They try to make a play there onto the Phoenix, but ultimately they did miss out. Savage does reveal the Desolator as well now, so TNC going to be well aware of that. They're just sticking as 3 up in that top lane as Fnatic is still looking for a straggler here up at that top lane. But instead, with that early Desolator, it looks like they're going to try and force a team fight by taking Roshan. And of course, you do have the DP ultimate. And this will be a rather quick Roshan, but Tims, he does scout it out with a quick arrow. That's a lot of damage on Moon already. This could be really bad for Fnatic if TNC do jump in. Moon just getting bashed to death. But that Roshan is so low, and it looks like TNC are unwilling to contest. Tims, he did buy out a smoke, but he was just... it was way too late. So now the rest of TNC, they're just going to try and stay away from Fnatic and keep farming up, but Moon is making the chase right now. Smoke from March, they're going to run straight back into Moon now, so Smoke is broken. KB, he gets silenced up, but there's the Moonlight Shadow, but Dust is out from DJ. Now the Sunray trying to heal up KB. Echo, they don't want him to split. He will probably get it off, however, they just can't stun him long enough. They don't have the damage output. Now DJ will end up going down straight off the bat, and Savage, he's been stunned up. Laguna straight to the face, and now Ek to be dropped straight after that. Ages. Does he get stunned? Not quite. He gets out of range, but Gabby jumps in after jabs. Does find the Venge. Savage still trying to fight back, and here comes Moon once again. Gabby, who are you going to aim for? He'll go after Savage. Savage will Sakuchi away. Meanwhile, Moon getting taken down. He will die on the DP, and this is looking really bad for Fnatic as that arrow going through, not really connecting on anyone. But TNC looking so darn strong in this early stage of the game. Just deleting that Aegis straight off the bat and taking a 4-for-0 trade.
Yeah, the biggest issue for Fnatic there was that Savage was caught out in the LSA. They expend the Echo to try to burst down the Brew, but their main damage dealer was not able to do damage, and that just costed them. They needed a lot more to focus down on KP, and it's just not there. So Fnatic needs to either build damage up or build control up, but those 3 heroes they threw in were not enough. They're going to need jabs around with the additional stun if they really want to take care of KP before the split. Beyond that, you know, you expend those very big spells to try to get that done. This does mean that DJ will have to sit in the back for a bit longer. And that is more time for TNC to take over in the map. They're not constrained to those long cooldowns. I mean, yeah, they've got the split and egg, but the PA and the Lina hit really hard regardless of those spells. But they're just able to constantly stay out there in the lanes and farm up.
DJ almost found Tim's there, TPing out on the sidelines. Couldn't quite get the Fisher out in time. You do have Moon now, though. He has a BKB up on that DP, so that should help the cause a little bit. Especially because we do see him getting bursted down very quickly during these team fights. Just needs that magic immunity. Armel trying to build into the same on that Lina. Just opting for that mobility in the 4-star fuels first. Even Ice, he picks up the mech straight into the pipe. It's feeling like he needs to really add some durability here for the side of Fnatic, and I can't really disagree with that.
Yeah. Oh, smoke out.
Yeah, we do
They
see a
do
smoke.
have their ults back.
Savage gonna take the front lines. Does find the courier of Armel, though opts to not go for it. Instead, Armel will break the smoke, but now they spot him out. He's gonna try and make a TP out of here with the Moonlight Shadow. Does he have enough time? He does not. DJ was there in time for the Fisher, and now he will die. Great play there from DJ. And looks like that'll be it for Fnatic. Nobody else is showing on the map right now, so they won't have any other options. They'll just have to get back to farming here on this dire side.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick-off on Armel. I don't think that's really the issue. The Lina is not that rich. Like, you talk about the itemization, but Hurricane Pike and Eul's, it's all about utility for Armel. The biggest issue right now is Gabby. Gabby has just free farm. 12k net worth now, 2k above everyone else from Fnatic. Has the BKB up and running. So you don't have control for the PA. That's going to be a lot of time where Gabby can just jump in and crit out and really burst everyone down.
I do like the fact he's going for that that Desolator straight after. He's really wanting to amplify that damage. He just went for the safe route first, making sure he couldn't be perma-stunned here by the Shaker Venge. Arrow, gonna fly out, won't connect on anything. Tier 2 tower going down fairly quickly here, and all they can hope to do is deny it, but Moon does find the final right click. And now, on the side of TNC, they can try and smoke again if they so wish. And Tims does have 2 in the bag right now, so they probably will. You don't have Moonlight Shadow up though, so perhaps not. Might be just an idea to wait. But no, they are going to smoke. Do they find anyone from Fnatic, however? It's very hard to get into this dire side triangle. Smoke going to be broken there on Tims. He's going to realize exactly where they are, but again, how do you get in there? KP, his smoke broken as well, thanks to jabs. They'll just secure the bounty rune down at the bot lane, and that'll be it. They won't find any kind of hero pick off there. I think you could set up for a bottom tier 2, tier 1 push though, right? With this BKB on Gabby, you should be feeling very, very confident to make this happen.
Yeah, they've got their ults up and running as well. The split is up, the egg is up. Not too much to worry about from that point. Although TNC is playing rather conservative. They're not quite shoving in the lane, and they'll just kind of take their time there. This is giving Fnatic some time to farm. No real objective for them to push into, so there's no real trade to be made here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they'll just make the push. Fnatic trying to do the same up at the top lane, but they'll have to work towards a tier 2 tower. They are hanging around mid, but that mid tier 2 has already gone down, so now Moon moving on to the top tier 2.
Double damage.
But no, they don't actually commit to it. They just kind of send the treants in. But all this time has given Gabby his Deso. He just continues to find an item every couple minutes, it seems.
Tower is under attack.
And he's going to start building into that Satanic next. They may want to try and defend this top tier 2 tower, however. Moonlight Shadow going to be used, but KP will reveal it quite obviously. They don't really mind. They just wanted to get the defense off. And Fnatic seem unwilling to take a 5v5.
Yeah, this is really surprising. Again, we've been talking about this for nearly the entire game, but Fnatic has not been playing around the Exorcism as much as you'd expect. They've taken their time. They've been happy to hang it off cooldown like this for a while. And I think that hurts them a lot more than it hurts TNC. You want to really use that spell early while it's strong. With the BKBs up and running now on TNC side, feels like that is a bit of a missed opportunity. They can still make things happen, but you're going to have to initiate really well with DJ to lock that PA in first before anything else can happen.
Well, Fnatic going to take over that Radiant side jungle, it seems. Nobody there from the side of TNC. You have the Halberd up now on Ice on that Nature's Prophet, but as we already know, there's a BKB there on Gabby anyway. So, you won't mind that Halberd too much, assuming he does get the BKB off at the right time. Ice, he does show himself up at that top lane. Gabby also revealing himself by taking that outpost. But now the side of Fnatic going to find Tim's here, and they're just going to be able to blow him up very quickly. They do get a gem out of that. So it's actually a pretty decent kill, and now Ice trying to scan out with the Sprout. They miss out on Armel. And the rest of TNC also just going to TP out of there immediately.
Are scanning.
That's a fairly big loss 28 minutes in, just losing that gem on your pos 4 Mirana. Not great news.
Yeah, it's going to really make it harder to find those Moonlight Shadow rotations out. Also makes it a lot less safe to drop those wards on ground. So it limits the movement range of TNC just a bit. And it really helps Savage out. I think that's one other factor. It's like he doesn't need to worry about constant vision while he's out Shikuchiing. So there's a little bit more leeway for how far the Weaver can dive in. And again, it's been a rather slow game for the past few minutes, but it's still fairly even on the board. At some point, Fnatic will have to make a move, right? Like they are relying on getting that jump before any more BKBs come out. And so far, again, it's only been Gabby. So if they can find anyone else, force a pick-off out, they could probably take the following teamfight if they wanted.
You wouldn't mind just waiting for Savage to pick up an MKB though, right? Like, just having that MKB up against the PA does seem quite nice. He has queued it up and he's making his way there, but TNC, they've smoked up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Spotting out the side of Fnatic, but not breaking the smoke yet.
Tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower.
Taking that high ground. Moonlight now, Moon gonna be the real target here. They'll get the LSA with the Laguna and they blow him up straight away. And the rest of Fnatic, of course, will not be willing to take this team fight without their DP available. So instead, it's onto that mid-tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And
Savage?
Roshan? Savage getting jumped on right now. He will time-lapse away. The rest of Fnatic just going to TP out.
Yeah, it's pretty bad timing for them. It's going to be a really easy take for TNC. They do spot it out with DJ now.
They do. Ice going to jump in with the Sprout. However, KP jumps in with the split. There will be a swap out on DJ, but KP going to focus him down. LSA not connecting. There's a swap. Egg being dropped as well, but Savage taking care of it. But now Gabby, he will find the Weaver in time, and he can just clean up straight afterwards. Ooh. Finding jabs as well. Poor Ice flying in the air. Moon has joined in with the Exorcism and his own BKB, but Gabby does not seem afraid, or maybe he does. He wants to blink out of there. But they definitely want to stick around for this Roshan. Moon blinking forward, but another blink away from the PA. Now the arrow from Tims. They could turn on this, but Ice TPing in the backlines. Laguna there on Moon, falling very, very low, but Tims does not connect the Starfall. And now Ice getting jumped on again by Gabby, but no lucky crits. Roshan still very, very low. Both teams actually just backing out of there. Remaining on their respective high grounds. And, well, Fnatic, they could always try to sneak their way back into that Roshan pit, but the problem is they're not really in position with their Weaver yet.
Nah, they do have the Slam. So they have a bit of a spell advantage in that area. At least DJ did manage to hold out there. And I love seeing that play coming out from TNC. They focused down a lot on making sure DJ wouldn't go in with Slam. They just always made sure he was being hit, always had a DOT on, so he could never blink in and break up that fight, and that's really what's causing issues now for Fnatic. They just don't have the additional control, and you take a look at Gabby, Satanic's up and running, nothing to mitigate that lifesteal. So the PA just going to be really up in front and very hard to take care of.
You don't actually have anything like a Spirit Vessel on the side of Fnatic. Gabby just going to go in. Fisher going to be there with the Sprout. They have plenty of vision on what Gabby's up to. They're going to try and make the jump in while, as that Roshan goes down, but now the Egg is there and KP has jumped in. The Aegis has been given to Gabby. Jabs gets blown up straight away on the Venge. And now Fnatic once again wanting to back up, but Savage, he gets crit on the first hit from that PA. Gabby giving him the tip mid-team fight. Now Ice trying to TP up at the bash. They end up stunning him up, and that means that Ice is also going to die on the Nature's Prophet. And TNC just look unstoppable right now.
Oh, they definitely do. Fnatic just has no ways of going into the fight. They have no answer just yet for Gab. And that's just gonna get worse and worse. Like, they need to fight as a team. They need to force these fights in tight areas, and TNC has just been really disciplined enough to always split up and never have DJ have the opportunity for a massive slam. His Shaker usually has high impact, but in this case, we haven't seen as much. We've seen one-man Echo Slams. That's it.
The focus really has been on shutting down KP with those echoes, like just trying to get the permastuns off on that Brewmaster. Because KP has been a real menace on this Brewmaster thus far. Now, they just aren't able to take him down, though. He just seems too tanky right now. They just don't have the damage output. We'll see if they can do it next time around. They won't be in position to defend that tier 2 top tower, so TNC will gladly just take it for themselves. It's like DJ's going to try and apply some pressure down a bot lane, but he's an Earthshaker. There's only so much you can do. Even using up the creep. So he does TP away.
Yeah, I mean, what was a slight lead and fairly even on net worth earlier on is now a 6k advantage for TNC. You do have the MKB up now on Savage, so he can dish the damage out in the PA. I'm not sure if he's going to be alive long enough to get that done, though. He's always kind of been bursted down, and he's, as we've seen, very squishy. They need Ice to get that halberd off.
Top lane, Yule's going to be there, though LSA does not connect on Ice. They won't be able to capitalize on that, or maybe they will. Gabby throws in a dagger. Ice, a bit of a sitting duck, does get the halberd off this time around, though Gabby could just jump back in now with the Aegis if he really wants to. Just waiting it out as the arrow does connect on Ice Ice Ice, but again, they're just not willing to make the jump near that tier 3 Dire Tower. Instead, TNC back out of there. No reason to really risk giving a team wipe away right now. They'll just take the next team fight on their terms with this Aegis. And oh, Gabby mid lane. Echo comes out from DJ. It's a lot of damage, and Gabby will lose the Aegis. That's an Echo we were talking about. Gabby now going to be chased down. He needs to pop that BKB, and he does. He does Blink Strike away as well. Still has the Satanic if he really wants to commit it. KP, of course, committing the Brewmaster split as well, but Moon is right on top of these Brewmasters. Trying to take down the Earth Spirit. KP very, very low right now. Savage going to chase him down, and looks like he will be able to morph back into the actual Brewmaster. And they won't actually be able to find a kill per se, although Tim's getting very greedy for that Arcane Rune, but we'll just leap away.
Whoa.
It's a lot of damage coming out from Savage, but he'll be fine. TNC will maintain a 6k net worth lead.
Yeah, I mean, that was great for Fnatic to take out the Aegis, but not finding anything else does kind of hurt them. They expended the Exorcism, they expended the Slam. There is some downtime there where TNC, if they wanted to, could fight outside. It looks like they're happy enough to just kind of wait it out. Like, you take a look at March, he's been slowly saving up for the Ags on that Phoenix. It's just about 600 gold away. So once you have that up and running, the Egg's going to be alive for a long time. You've got a way to save one of your allies as well. As long as you land those Fire Spirits out, it is a tough choice for Fnatic in trying to focus down that Egg, as long as the teamfight's still kind of breaking out. So, a lot more tools still flying out for TNC. The delay is still playing to their favor. It's just an Aegis they lost. They're not going to be feeling too bad about that. It was probably about to expire anyway.
It's kind of a matter of how do Fnatic take the next team fights as well, right? Like, you saw if they can find that big Echo on Gabby by himself, it's well worth committing it. Just be able to try and delete this this pos 1 of TNC. But I doubt Gabby will make the same mistake again. Especially if he does not hold the Aegis himself. He probably definitely won't do that. So we'll see how they take the next team fight.
Yeah, and there's that Ags up on March now. So, really beefy Egg coming out. Again, just makes it harder for Fnatic to choose their targets in these fights. They want to focus on KP, they want to focus on Gabby. Now you have to worry about a really tanky Egg. It makes it really hard for Fnatic to find a proper target. And again, they've been trying, right? They've been trying on KP, hasn't worked out. They can do it on Gabby, but the only reason Gabby was that far forward anyway was because of the Aegis. And as you mentioned, he's probably not going to do that again. So Fnatic has to still find a way into these fights.
Question is just how. It just seems like it's all on DJ to get those big fishes and Echoes out. Because you could hope for a huge swap from Jabs, but it's really not that easy. Especially with such high mobility heroes on the side of TNC, they can always just blink their way out of there. Or leap in Tim's case. Be a Moonlight Shadow, but KP has revealed it by taking out those DP illusions. TNC just biding their time, waiting for the perfect moment. Next Roshan, still going to be a while away.
Yeah, I mean, all this time saving up is giving Gabby the time to just finish up the Abyssal. So he's just about, I think he just about has the gold if he wants to risk no buyback, and that just means you have all the control in the world now with the PA. Pretty much kit it up as much as you'd want. And again, it makes it so hard for Savage to trade there, because all he has is a BKB. So you get a lucky bash off with a dagger, or just straight up blow the Abyssal on, Savage is just dead.
We see Savage. He's going to start building into a butterfly now. Just make it a little bit harder here for Gabby. He won't have anything like an MKB. Could always try to go for a Divine Rapier later if we get to that point where he needs one, but... Fnatic. TNC. Gonna have to fight into their own high ground here. They blink in KP, looking for the split. They do burst down jab straight off the bat, and now the egg is there from the Phoenix and Gabby. He does find Savage with so many pashes on that PA. Now onto Moon on the DP. He can't really survive this, or maybe he can. He'll try to run out of there, but they're going to lose DJ as well, and they're just sitting ducks right now. Moon is going to die, and Ice the only man left standing, and he is not going to be standing for long. He will run for his life. It's going to be a slow kill onto Ice, but TNC, a full team wipe, and they lose nobody.
That was Fnatic on the high ground as well. They had the positional advantage. They could not get anything done. Jabs just died way too fast. He got bashed. He couldn't use that Ghost Scepter. So the PA just went right in and melted, and this is the biggest issue now for Fnatic. Gabby has no solution. There is no way to hold this PA down. Like, the halberd's not enough. You know, everyone's just kind of a sitting duck. And now with even the 25 talent up in Gabby, with a stifling dagger talent, you just throw out the dagger. One of them crit, or one of them bashes. It's an easy commit. You're not going to be scared of any sort of follow-up anymore.
Or even better than that, John. Just straight into the Roshan here for TNC. You're going to fight into an Aegis now with the cheese and those triple daggers. In fact, make that a refresher shard as well. KP going to have the double split available on that Brewmaster if he so wishes. Could also see the double Laguna if they want to switch it out to Armel later on, but it doesn't seem like they need that kind of burst right now. I mean, the Primal Split is the real reason why TNC is having such a great time in these team fights. It's just allowing Gabby to do whatever he wants without being contested whatsoever. It's just creating way too much havoc.
Yeah, it's getting really hard for Fnatic to find that opening, and I think they're gonna need to maybe build up a bit more on DJ. It does look like he's saving up for the BKB on the Shaker, although
yeah, he'll just Ghost Form TP out of there. DJ gonna just continue to hide in the tree line, but throws out a Fisher, blinks TPs as well. TNC feeling very, very confident. They'll start pushing into that bottom tier 2 tower now. That's the kind of creep you love to see. 1.5k. That poor creep wave. He's just got so much life steal right now, Gabby. Like with the Satanic and the Paladin Sword. It's kind of insane amounts of life steal. I just don't know how you're going to blow this man up. Like, they're going to try. Sprout, Fisher is there, but he has the Sunray to heal him up. A bounty has been placed on Tim's head. But are you really going to be able to claim that bounty? Probably not.
Yeah, and TNC, they're just going to slowly siege up. Again, they're not in a rush. They've got the 20k advantage here. They know Fnatic needs to really coordinate in this team fight. They're really depending on DJ to still land at Slam. And TNC has been so disciplined. They never have KP right next to Gabby. They always kind of split those heroes apart. This allows March to get a good position for the egg and back as well. And there's just no way for Fnatic to commit.
TNC starting to slowly make the way back up top. A bash there on Ice. Arrow to fly through as well, but doesn't connect. Now the swap in onto Gabby, but he just fights back. Moon, in fact, Jabs gets blown up. Now the egg right in the middle of the team fight. Who do they focus right now? Gabby jumping on the Weaver against Savage. He's in so much trouble. He will not die. They'll go after Moon instead. Jabs will buy back. Ice about to die himself and will eventually go down. They'll try to follow up on Gabby, but he still has the Aegis. Savage coming back in. Gabby falling very, very low, but just not dying though. There's the Echo DJ. He does at least get the Aegis. Yule's up on that Earthshaker, however. They're going to punish him for that. Swap out from Jabs, but they are on top of him. There goes Savage. Gabby takes him out. Now Moon's going to be in trouble. A nice Fisher will delay things, but Gabby again just critting through the daggers. And he can just clean up. He's going to find Jabs as well. This man is critting on demand, and that is GG. TNC pull off the first game victory. You know, we were talking about it in the draft stage, John. You would have argued Fnatic would have been the favorites going into this, but TNC, at least for game one, have shown up.
Yeah, they've been shaken out from the rut we've seen them last time. They certainly are playing a lot more active and everything lined up, right? They managed to give Gabby the space he needed to farm up. You had such a disruptive offlane with KP's Brewmaster and Tim's Mirana. And Fnatic, they rested a bit too much on their laurels. They didn't play around the exorcism as much by the mid game. They were just waiting around a bit. They took too much time farming up. They couldn't force the team fights out, and by the time they were, Gabby was already pretty much impossible to deal with. So maybe by the second game, we'll see Fnatic go for a bit of a faster style. Otherwise, if TNC plays this fast throughout this league, I'm pretty sure they're going to go back to being on that form we know they were at before.
We'll find out very soon. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire. We'll see you all again in about 5 to 10 minutes for that second game.